I won't spend a lot of time on medicine cabinets, but I do want you to know we do medicine cabinets. We do a recessed, we do a surface mount. You can do all kinds of cool features like I was talking about before, lights inside, lights above, lights below. You can do all that different kind of stuff. You can do power inside, different kind of things. And then they're all listed out here the way that we price them out. So with a recessed with an 1.5-inch frame, surface mounted with an 1.5-inch frame, and then you have the ones that are frameless, which when you're doing the contemporary 400, 500, 600 series, this is going to be pretty much what you go to. And then we do just plain mirrors as well. So you have those, the metal mirrors. This will match. Do note that it says polished chrome is not available in this mirror here. It's due to the size and the framing of it, so it's not available currently. But these frames will match the vanity. So for example, if it's an Alton, this is what the Alton legs look like. Is there a 1/2 inch on the front, 2 inches going down the side? The mirror will mimic that. Okay, so it'll be the same design. So 100, 200 series, this is going to be 100 is a wall hung in a traditional transitional product, 200 is a floor mount. Okay, so again, it's going to give you some different information here. Lifetime guarantee that we talked about. This is kind of something that's interesting. Each piece, once it comes to the building table, is managed by that builder all the way through the process at that point, and then at the end they will sign and date the product on the back. There'll be a label on the back of every vanity that has who built it, and they'll sign it and date it. And then it gives you just kind of an overview. 25 finishes available as a standard. That Pure Bond formaldehyde-free plywood, that's that furnace grade product that we talked about. You can do the ascent doors and drawers, so on and so forth. So it gives you kind of all that information, full extension, soft close slides and hinges, so on and so forth. So you're going to go to the 100 series first. Notice it says finished matched interior. This is something hugely different, even with a lot of custom cabinet builders. It is much less expensive to buy a standard plywood product. That's a good plywood product that comes already with a standard natural finish, and use that for interiors and cabinets. Back whenever I was selling cabinets, we did that all the time because it was cost effective. So the outside of the cabinet, let's say, is blue, but the inside would be a natural maple interior. Furniture Guild doesn't do that. Furniture Guild does whatever the exterior finish is, the interior is the same way. The only thing that does not get finished on a Furniture Guild cabinet is the back of the back. The inside gets finished exactly the same. So if you're doing blue outside, it's blue inside. The drawers, as the standard, would be blue unless you upgrade it to the walnut. Everything is finished the same. And so this is more labor, more money, but again, you're not opening a cabinet that's blue and then you open it up and it's maple on the inside. So it just is a different level of the product. So all wood cabinets that are painted are going to be the same on the interior. Now it's different on the contemporary cabinets, because contemporary cabinets, they're going to typically be melamines and things like that on the outside, so that's where we use that gray interior on the inside again, so you don't open it and see a wood interior on a contemporary cabinet, but you do see that gray interior. So then you get to the 100, 200 series, or now we're into the 200 series. So we're just going to take this one for just a quick example, show you how to price it. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the different configurations that are available for the Parker. So in some configurations you're going to see different numbers here. You're going to see, as you notice, there's no 06 and no 08, but in other series there's an 06 and an 08, but in this one these are the series that are available, or configurations that are available. So here we have a 24-inch cabinet. We call this an 01 or an 02. So it says 24-inch version is a single door hinged right, so it's one door. Here on the 30 and 36, it's going to be two hinge doors, one right, one left. And so we are going to decide, let's say it's a 0230, and that's a 30-inch wide cabinet, and now all we have to do is decide, is it A or B category. Go back to the top. Here's our standard product for this series. A paints, A stains, and B's different woods. Okay, so which category does it fall into? And that's how you price it. So it's really simple how to price. So we need a 30-inch wide cabinet. This configuration, we're going to use B. It'd be $31.95 less. Then we have to add the top that we went over already. What top are we using? Are they not buying a top from Furniture Guild? Just what needs to happen there. And then you do that same thing depending on every configuration. And sometimes the configuration will drive the design. So there may be something similar, but they wanted a different configuration here, so they would choose a different design because they don't like that configuration. So but that same thing is going to work through every series, no matter which one it is. So now we're going to go to the, if we can see this here. We'll use the Avalon. It's a very popular seller. So here you see an Avalon, and the Parker we were just looking at, we had two finish options. We had A and B. Here we have C and B and D. Okay, just as kind of a rule of thumb that if you want to know, somebody is, I want the price point as low as I can get. C is always going to be your least expensive option in the 400, 500, and 600 series. Okay, so it gives you the again, wall hung cabinet, 2 drawers. This is a pretty standard for a powder room. This would be more comparable for a master. So you have the different configurations that are there. As you can see, we added a couple configurations here. We lost one. The 07 is not available in this series, but we have the different ones that are available. Same thing applies. So we're going to take a 30-inch cabinet, and then we have to pick which series. It's real simple how that prices. But here's where I wanted to talk about. So it does tell you here about custom paint colors. So if I wanted to do a custom paint color, which would be maybe something from the A category, or I'm picking Sherwin-Williams Pelican Blue. Okay, so if it's matte, I take the C column, I add 10% to it. Even if it's an A finish that's already is a standard finish for us, you do the same thing because A's are not a standard for this series. If I want it glossy, I add 20%, and if I want a polished lacquer, I go to the category D plus 10%. Okay, so that's how we can figure out the paint colors when they're available, when you're doing something other than standard product. So we talked to, Nicole mentioned Phoenix. So the reason I wanted to come here and do it is in the countertop, the only thing that's available is black Phoenix. But we actually have, as you can see here, 6 different Phoenix finishes that can be used for the drawers and the panels. Only black for the countertop currently, but the other 6 can be on the front. So what Phoenix is Phoenix is actually a laminate, but it's what they call nanotechnology. If you go back on the Furniture Guild website, you can pull up some links to some YouTube videos that will explain how this product works. But what's really cool about it is it's a living fiber. So if you get a scratch in it, there are 2 ways to get the scratch out of the countertop, depending on what the scratch is, and those videos show you depending on what it is. But for most scratches, what you would do is take a wet towel and a hot iron. Lay the wet towel down over top of the scratch, and then put the hot iron on top of it, and it will lift that fiber back up into its previous position, where it's supposed to be. and the scratch will disappear. In some scratches, you would actually take a magic eraser and just wipe the scratch and it will remove it. So it depends on how it was scratched, and what it was scratched with is how you remove that scratch. But that's a really cool feature that no other vanity manufacturer I'm aware of uses this type technology. It's proprietary to a manufacturer in Italy, I believe is where it comes from, and it's not inexpensive for a laminate. You can do standard laminates a whole lot less, but they can't be restored the way this product can. So that's for the countertops in black, and then any of those finishes that you see there for the actual cabinet. So let's see. Just want to hit the metals real quick to make sure we understand how to price those. So we'll just grab one here. So this is the Avento. So again, you see the different finish options for the drawer fronts, doors, so on and so forth. But now, because you have metal involved, we go back to adding these group 1, group 2 pricing. So it gets a little bit different in the way that the price works here. Now we have a second set of columns. So again, we're just going to take a 30-inch vanity, and we're in the 621. And that first number, if I didn't point this out before, that first number tells us the series. So we're 621 Avento. The next two numbers tells us the configuration. So we're using a 01, and we're using 30 for 30 inches. So that's the same again across the board in every series. The first set of numbers is your series, the second set is configuration, and the last set is going to be your size. So 621 01 30 is a 30-inch Avento, and then here now we have two sets of columns, and they reflect what's in group 1 and group 2. So if we wanted satin brass, we would be in group 1, and if we wanted to use a Phoenix black laminate, then we would be a list price of $65.45. We jump over to group 2. If we wanted to change it to, let's say, burnished brass instead of satin brass, now it's $79.95. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference between group 1 and group 2. That's going to be the same on the hardware that comes in those options, so on and so forth. So if Avento wouldn't be a good one to do it to, because it already has a metal finger pull for the top of it that matches. But if I wanted to take, let's say, a Avant, and I wanted to add a trim to the front of it. So just so you understand how that works, so let's say we're here at the Avant, and now I want to add the Campaign series to it. I'm going to get the 30-inch, I'm using the black laminate, and I'm using satin brass, let's say. So I'm at $68.45 right here is my list price. Now I want to add that trim to it, the Campaign trim. I go all the way back to the front of the book to where I get to the Campaign trim, and we were using satin brass, which is group 1, and we want to use whichever one of these, doesn't matter. We'll pick the one with the little knurling on it. We want to make it a little bit more traditional. So we're group 1, we had 200. There were 2 drawers on that, so it's 200 times 2. And then I want to do the inlay. So again, I'm going to use the one with the little knurling. So that's going to be Campaign 2 finish, and it's $500 per panel. So I have 2 drawers, so it'd be another $1,000. So 1,000 plus 400 for the pull. So I would take that $68.95 and add $1,400 to that price, and then that is my price for adding the Campaign to it. So that's how you do that with Campaign. If I wanted to add a metal base, well, that one is a wall hung with metal around it, so it wouldn't work for that one. But if I wanted to add lighting, it's $250 per light, so I could do that underneath it as well. If I wanted to put power in the drawers, I would add the $500 for that, so on and so forth. And the power in the drawer works with either our standard drawer or the walnut upgrade drawer. It doesn't have to, we show it with the walnut upgrade, but it doesn't have to be the walnut upgrade. So we're closing in on an hour here, and I just want to open it up for any questions that we might have. And hopefully we have. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in. So we're all ready to sell some Furniture Guild now. No real questions or issues. Real quick, just here is a Furniture Guild home price list. Basically, we're taking all the same designs and added furniture pieces or made furniture pieces. So chest of drawers, dressers, nightstands, so on and so forth. You can order tops from us. It can also be a wood top. And then there's also a new shelving system that we introduced in this as well. Everything in this book is at a different multiplier than our standard multiplier. So if your standard multiplier is 0.45 because you have 2 or more pieces on display, this is different. It's a 0.5. Everything in this book. So it's a little bit different pricing point, but everything is pretty much the same as far as like what options are available, the designs, again, how do we do countertops. Obviously here we're going to leave off a few things because we're not drilling holes for faucets and things like that, but you have all of this available to you as well. I think this is an easy conversation to have with a homeowner or designer. If you love this for the bathroom, let's look at it for the master bedroom as well. So we can take those same designs. We may change finish, or we may change, you know, we may even change styles totally. But if I have, let's say, the Alton in my bathroom and I want to bring that into the bedroom, but maybe in the bedroom, instead of it being satin brass, I'm going to use polished nickel or, you know, some other finish or something like that. So it's an easy question, a conversation to have with the designer or homeowner. If they're in love with Furniture Guild, which a lot of them are, is to begin showing them these products that are available. And then shelving is huge in kitchens and also outside of kitchens. So this is it's a totally different take on the shelving systems that are available in the market, because these actually have, you can pick all the different finishes for the shelves here. It can be any category, A, B, C, or D. And then you have the different metal finishes that are available, and a couple different things you can do to the drawers. They can either be mitered in the corners, or you can do these rounded corners. So a lot of different options here that aren't available from a lot of the shelving manufacturers. But this is something that if you're not asking your designers about, you should be, because they're putting these in tons of jobs right now.